another good morning, time to go. Oh, we are all looking for adventure. We are all looking for adventure. We are all looking for...
Welcome back to the 3x5 Live
podcast.
So, last week we chatted about
our core values.
Hopefully you ranked your top 3, started implementing them, sharing them.
Showing up with your teams and your organizations, with your family, trying to align yourself with the core value in its entirety and not just the actual value itself, the word.
There you go.
Yep. And speaking of words,
what
are we talking about today?
I like that transition.
Thank you.
Words matter. That's what we're chatting about today. I love this topic. I love diving into the power of self-talk. And before we get into it, one awesome story I heard was Ellen Langer's research at Harvard. And she basically had 2 groups of people. One group went into a research lab and did normal crossword puzzles. The other group went in and did crossword puzzles associated with, or the words were associated with old age. And then where the research comes in, they timed them leaving the research lab and getting to the elevator. And the group that had the words that were associated with old age walked significantly slower to the elevator. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
So it just shows like the importance of words and the words you surround yourself, even the people that you surround yourself with and the words that they use, and what that is reinforcing in your brain.
Absolutely. So that also, I feel like, lends itself naturally to like our self-talk. I think that's something that you and I discuss all the time, and finding ourselves in loops of negative self-talk, and how do we pull ourselves out of there. And I don't know, what are some of your thoughts about that?
So self-talk, I feel like every action we make is going to create good or bad self-talk, be it grabbing the Snickers bar versus the like hummus and crackers, or whatever little decision that is, or waking up at your alarm clock and going for the walk in the morning. That's all of a sudden creating positive self-talk and self-belief compared to missing those promises you made to yourself. And one thing I heard Ed Milet say once is regarding self-talk, he's like, a lot of times self-talk is like a CD in your head. Like it's something that just, the tracks keep repeating through your life, through your years. And he's like, one thing that he's done, just something that tricked his brain a little, is every time one of those negative self-talk tracks played in his mind, he would just say, scratch it, scratch it, scratch it. So literally he would picture himself scratching the CD. So once the CD is scratched, obviously it doesn't play anymore. And it was this little trick that he did to help, just push those thoughts away, and eventually they did subside, the things that he was battling internally.
I love that thought about the CD too, because I think one of the biggest things with negative self-talk is to recognize the stories that you tell yourself, and that's that self-awareness piece. So sometimes we don't even recognize what that loop is for us, what that CD is for us. And so the first step is to write down on a piece of paper, or somewhere that you can look at, all of those things that you tell yourself that fall into that negative realm, so that when it happens you can recognize it enough to actually put the scratch into it.
That's a great point.
Because that's something that I've worked with before with groups of people, and we don't recognize the things that are on repeat for us that we tell ourselves. And just a simple shift, that lends itself naturally to the idea of affirmations. Positive affirmations. I know people are like, oh, that's woo-woo, and like this doesn't work, and but there really is power and magic in words and the things that we tell ourselves. So if you find yourself telling yourself repeatedly, like, I'm distracted or I'm tired, that's for me. My energy has been so low the last couple of weeks. I'm not really quite sure what's going on, but I keep telling myself, like, I say it out loud. I'm so tired. I'm so low energy. I have no low energy. And just shifting my mentality in the words that I'm telling myself and saying, I have energy and vibrancy to do all the things I need to do today, right? Like just like kind of stating it like that, like shifts it a little bit in my brain, so that I'm focusing on the fact that utilizing the energy that I do have so that I can accomplish the things that I want to accomplish. So finding those negative things you're saying on repeat, like scratching them, and then replacing them with something that would be the positive, opposite of what you're telling yourself, I think can have a ton of power.
Yeah. And I've used it with mantras over the years with my ultra running, where you can get into a negative spiral so quickly out there, when you're, 6 hours into a 12-hour race, So I have, these mantras that I say, like the farther I go, the stronger I get. I'm running with gratitude. Like these little tricks. I have like 5 or 6 of them that I'll just kind of repeat in my head to like trick my mind and being like, everything's great out here, So and it's helped me get through some like dark times out on the trails.
And even to the point where, the kids and I usually crew him at his races. So we'll see him at the aid stations and I'll actually repeat some of his mantras out to him. Like, you're running with gratitude, or, one step at a time. Because that's what you always said, like 1 footstep at a time, like focusing on that. And I do see that it kind of like put some wind back in your sails definitely. When you look like you're about to be a little bit deflated. But
exactly. So the importance of just recognizing our self-talk, we're our biggest critics and we tend to get down on ourselves a lot, and managing that can be a superpower, and it really can create a more joyful life if we can start really keeping those things in check and just having awareness around it.
I mean, I was thinking about other places where words have shown up for us. I'm looking at our values, our family values right there. But also, we usually pick a family word for the year, and then we each pick an individual word for the year. And we usually place it somewhere, either if it's in our meditation room or our room that we do our workouts in, or, our bathroom or something. And that year is a nice way to like kind of connect it to almost like a vision boarding process, right? Because the more you see something and you're aware of something and you're reading something, you align your thoughts, your ideas, and your actions to that word. So like mine was clarity this year, and yours was community.
Yep.
And so you are looking at it each day and saying, okay, what am I doing to add clarity to my day or focus to my day? Yes. Or, how are you connecting with community, and what can you do to be a little bit more alignment to that? So that's been another place that's been really powerful, to show a word or use a word to guide us in our path and what we're kind of choosing to do and bring into our life. Yeah,
exactly. So practice to scratch it. Maybe pick a word for the year, for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I would say first, and I'm, that I'm a huge, if you've listened to these podcasts, self-awareness is one of my biggest things. But I think that what are the stories you're telling yourself? What are the loops and the CDs that you're repeating over and over? Identifying those first so that you can recognize it when it's happening, and then use that word of literally like picturing that scratch it, and then taking that scratch it and then replacing it with something that would be positive. I think would be an awesome place to start. And I'd love to hear in the Facebook community if you have been able to identify something you're telling yourself, like me, like I'm so tired, I'm so low energy, and then scratching it and what I can replace it with. If you could show us what that is, it might be helpful for some of the, because I think a lot of our loops might be similar.
Yes.
I think that we all kind of have the same negative voice that's going off at different times. So it might be helpful to hear other people's ways of kind of combating that.
Yeah, great. So
awesome.
If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the podcast. Give us a review. That was so helpful.
Oh, yeah.
Don't like it.
Don't like it.
And share with a friend. Until next week, have a fantastic week.
Have a great week, guys.
Bye.
Wake me up to another good morning, time to go.